Hello everyone, welcome to Infinity Education channel. This is the second part of the single machine scheduling problem. In this video, we will discuss some additional questions asked in exam apart from optimal sequence. In previous video, I have explained different methods to find optimal sequence in single machine scheduling. If you don't know about it, please watch this previous video and come again here. Here in this video, we will solve one example in detail using SPT. The data is given over here. The data is same as in the previous video. The additional question asked are, what is the optimal sequence? What is the completion time and mean flow time? What is the average in process inventory? What is lateness, mean lateness and maximum lateness? How many number of jobs that are actually late? And last one is make span time. This last question is generally asked in GATE examination. We will discuss this also in this video. Let's start. Example, these are the jobs, these are the processing time. So we will sequence the job according to minimum processing time to maximum processing time. So the sequence will be like this. We have sequenced the jobs according to their processing time, like 4, this is minimum, to 6, this one is maximum. I have made the table. In this, the jobs are sequenced according to SPT. Now we will write the processing time over here. Now the next step is calculation of the completion time, right? This is in and out time. So when the first job comes into the system, it will comes at the value of 0. Then 3 minutes of processing time will be there. So it will out from the system at 3. Then this next jobs have to be wait for its turn. So it will enter in the machine at 3 minutes of processing time. So the out time will be 6. Same, this will be 6. 6 plus 5, 11. This 11 will be here. 11 plus 6, 17. Right? This 17 will be here. 17 plus 7 will be 24. 24 will be here. 24 plus 8, 32. This 32 will be here. 32 plus 10, 42. This 42 will be here. And 42 plus 14 is 56. So we have our completion time for all the jobs. For 4 it's 3, 8, 4, 6. For 1 it's 11, 17, 24, 32, 42 and 56. Right? Now we write the due dates for all the jobs. The data is already given in the table. Calculate lateness. Lateness is equal to completion time minus due date. It means what we have to do, completion time is 3, this is 25, 3 minus 25, for this 6 minus 50, 11 minus 15, likewise. So what we will get, 3 minus 25 minus 22. Likewise, we have calculated lateness for all the jobs. Now we will take the sum of all the processing time, which is 56. We will take the sum of the completion time, which is 191. Same we will do for lateness also, which is minus 29. This will be used in calculating this different parameters. So next one is mean flow time. So what is mean flow time? Mean flow time is equal to summation of completion time divided by processing time. So it will be 191 divided by 56, which will be 2.38 minutes. Next, we will see lateness. The lateness for all the jobs is we have calculated over here. Now mean lateness. Mean lateness is equal to sum of lateness divided by number of jobs, which is 8. So answer will be minus 3.625 minute. Then we will find maximum lateness. The maximum lateness is equal to The maximum number over here is 22. So the answer will be 22. The last one is number of jobs actually late. So how many number of jobs are actually late? So the answer, the positive lateness answer, positive lateness answers are our actually late jobs, which is 4. These 4 jobs are actually late. Now the make span time is 0 plus 56. It means 56. How this answer come? As we can see, make span time is a time from processing start on a first job in a set until all the jobs are completed. So the operation started from over here 0, it completed on the last job at 56. So 0 plus 56 is equal to 56. Now this is the table we have just made in previous slides. So I will use this to explain you in process inventory. So you can see that these are 8 jobs which are ready to go on machine for processing. So let's start the operations. The first job is on machine for operations, and the 7 jobs are waiting, right? So from the waiting time to the jobs which are already in processing on machine are called in process inventory. So over here these 7 jobs are waiting and this 1 job is in operation. So to total 8 jobs are in process, right? So the 7 jobs has to wait till this job is processed. It means it has to wait 3 minutes. This 3. Now the next job is in process and the remaining 6 are waiting. So 6 plus 1, 7. 7 jobs has to wait for 3. Next one is 5 plus 1. They have to consider as in process inventory for 5 minutes. Likewise, we can calculate for all the jobs. Right? So how the in process inventory is calculated? So for in process inventory, as you can see, this 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are number of jobs which are in process, and this 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 and 14 are respective time which all jobs have to wait. So average in process inventory will be 191 divided by 56. What is 56? 56 over here is equal to processing time. So answer for the average processing inventory will be 3.41 jobs. Now we have calculated this example and find out all the parameters using SPT method. So you can solve this same example using CRR, WSPT, EDD and STR. So this is a fully solved example over here. It is same as SPT. The calculation are same as SPT. How did you calculate flow time in SPT? Mean summation of completion time divided by number of jobs. So it will be same over here, 216 divided by 8. So we will find the mean flow time. So for calculating weighted mean flow time, we have to do this formula, completion time into weights divided by sum of weights, right? These are the weights given in the table. I have written the weights over here so you can easily calculate, right? The formula is completion time into weights. It means 3 into 6, 1 into 9, 1 into 12. So you can see 3 into 6, second one 1 into 9, next one is 1 into 12, 2 into 19, 2 into 17, respectively 2 into 56, right? Divide by sum of weights, which is 15. By this we can find out the weighted mean flow time. Answers are given for all the other items, so you can calculate by yourself and verify over here. Now this is the comparison. This is for SPT, WSPT, EDD, STR and CRR. We have used these parameters: mean flow time, average in process inventory, maximum lateness, mean lateness and number of jobs actually late. So as we can see, for the mean flow time, as we move from SPT to CRR, the mean flow time is increased. So we can say that the SPT is used to minimize the mean flow time, right? And another parameter is average in process inventory. Same trend is shown over here. As we move from SPT to CRR, the average in-process inventory is increased. SPT has the minimum average in-process inventory and minimum mean flow time. The next one is maximum lateness. As you can see that SPT and WSPT has the maximum lateness. So this is the requirement of EDD to reduce the maximum lateness in the system, which is 9. And STRR and CRR are extensions to this method, which is also used to minimize the maximum lateness. Next parameter is mean lateness. In mean lateness, you can see that the EDD has increased mean lateness. As you can see in previous graph that maximum lateness is reduced from 36 to 9, drastically changed, but as same it has increased the mean lateness. Now the next one is number of jobs which are actually late. So as you can see from the graph that as you move from SPT to EDD, for a while the number of jobs actually late are increased from SPT to EDD, but it's again decreasing from STR to CRR. So we can say that for STRR and CRR basically method to reduce actual lateness, So this is a brief comparison of these methods.